Hey everybody, welcome to Hobby Progress. Today I'm going to be giving you a review of my experience down at the Flying Monkey Con in Wichita, Kansas. It was a 6 round major and my second 40K event of the year. I gave you an audio only of the Midwest Conquest, and today I'm going to try to give you a video and see how that works out. So, like I said, it was a major. Uh, I'm going to be referring a lot to my phone here, so excuse me on that. Um, it looks like we had 79 players finish the rounds. Um, so I'm going to take you just on a quick trip, game by game, of how I did. So first, let me give you an overview of what I did. So I took Adeptus Custodes and Imperial Knights. My Custodes was a battalion detachment with Trajan Valoris and a shield captain with a spear. And then I had three Custodian Guard squads with 3 guard each, all with storm shields and swords. And then I had a heavy support with a Caladius Grav tank. And then I had the Elite's Choice with the Vexilla uh, and the Magnifica banner. So it being the -1 to hit banner. Um, with my knights, I had a super heavy detachment with 2 Helverins and a Crusader. The Crusader was made a character, giving it the relic 2-up armor save and the 4-up invul save with the ion shields. And these were all House Raven so that they could advance and fire their heavy weapons without penalty. Um, I really enjoyed the list. It looked very thematic on the table, and it was fun to play, easy to remember a lot of the rules. Um, so, uh, just going into it, I had a fun time playing this list. Okay, so on Friday night, I played in the Night Joust. I took my knight, uh, outfitted it up as a gallant, and took it. There was only 3 people that showed up to the Night Joust, and so we played best 2 out of 3. Each one of us won 1 game. I won the first one, um, and so we all 3 got a prize. It was pretty cool. It was fun. Wish more people would show up to that, but it was still a good time. So let's just go right to my game 1. Um, Let me find my game 1 score sheet here for you, and that way I can kind of track what we did here. Um, so round 1, I played Daniel Rice. Uh, Daniel was playing Genestealer Colts. He had, let's go through his list here. He was playing he had a battalion of the Pauper Princes with the Anointed Throng Specialist Detachment, and looks like he took 2 extra relics. So he had an HQ, an Abominant, and a Patriarch. He had 9 Acolyte Hybrids, 9 Acolyte Hybrids, 4 Acolyte Hybrids, and then 10 Aberrants with a Kelnermorph and a Sanctus. Then he had a Brood Brothers Heavy Weapons Squad, 3 of those. And then he had a Tyrannid Battalion with a Brood Lord, a Swarm Lord, 20 Genestealers, and Ripper Swarms. Then he had a Vanguard detachment, Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, Primus, Clamavus, Kellermorph, and Sanctus. Um, so he had a mixed. This would be considered Forces of the Hive Mind, I believe, is what they call it in the ITC. So a mixed Genestealer Cult and Tyranids detachment. I have not really gotten much experience against Genestealer Cult. I own the army. Most of it is still in shrink wrap. You've seen me assemble a couple of them. I tapered off when tournament season came around because I wanted to start playing more, so I don't necessarily have as much time as I would like to assemble as many of my other toys. All right, so this game, um, I made a mistake right off the bat. And in my secondary choices, I took Engineers, Reaper, and Marked for Death. Engineers is a terrible choice against Genestealer cults. They deep strike far too much, and there's no way to keep them off of your engineers. And as tough as my custodians are, they just don't handle all of those bodies piling in on them. So weight of attacks overwhelms them. So spoiler alert, I scored no engineers points. I marked for death his patriarch, both of his Genestealer units, and his Swarm Lord under my mark for death. We played Hammer and Anvil, and which is a good one for me. Generally, against like a Tyranid list, gives me some space because it's long table. I get a lot of turns to fire and everything, but I deployed a little too aggressively with one of my squads. He was able to get his Genestealers up on me turn one. I know better than that. I'm a Tyranid player. I should know that Genestealers can move like 40 inches across the board and touch a group. That was just a mistake on my part. Then he proceeded to deep strike a bunch of stuff in. I was smart enough to make him go first, which did help a little bit. But again, not getting engineers points and losing a squad to get wrapped up by Genestealers turn one was just unfortunate. Firepower won out, and I managed to score all 4 points on Reaper, and I did manage to get all 4 points on the Mark for Death. I devastated him model count-wise. But he took behind enemy lines in Recon, which for Genestealer cults, easy scores for him to get. And then he took Kingslayer on my knight. I think everyone throughout the days pretty much took Kingslayer or Titan Slayer on that sucker, and that's just like an auto 4 points, because if you want to win a game against me, you have to kill that knight, and it just gives up 4 points. Actually, going forward, that's one of the things I'm looking at taking out of my list. This was a close game, but me not scoring engineers is what cost it. I just really would have I would have been happier taking something else other than engineers. So anyway, in recap of that one, I lost 20-26. So as you can tell, those 4 points for engineers would have mattered. Also, I think it would have mattered a little bit had we gone on to round 6. This game did end in round 5. And that's the other theme of the day. Genestealer cult players, no offense to the players themselves, because both the games that I played against Genestealer cults were really fun games. They just take a long time to play. So if I was being more competitive, honestly, I would look at getting a chess clock on my table to play against them. So let's move on to round 2, so we don't bore you with too many of the details. And I'm recording this the next, on Monday night, so forgive me if I forget some of the points. I tried my best to write stuff down, but you don't always remember perfectly. So my round two, I go in and I get Jesse Pinnock. Jesse, let me load his list up here, is playing Eldar. I did not want to play this list. I knew it was going to be there, and I knew it was one of my weak links. Jesse was a nice enough guy. I mean, we ended up hanging out through a good portion of the tournament. We'd end up finding each other, talking about our games. Him and his team were fun guys to be around. But Jesse's playing Altiok Flyers. Altiok Flyers with their -1 to hit just suck. I do not have the shooting to bring them down. Even with my Caladius tank hitting on 2s, it is just not enough. So, my plan going into this was to ignore them. But before I get too much further, let's go ahead and give you his list. So, he's got a Eldari battalion of an Autarch, Farseer Skyrunner. So the Autarch has the Banshee mask, and so that's the no Overwatch Banshee mask. Farseer Skyrunner, Jayan Zar. I'm not sure why he took Jayan Zar. To be honest, she didn't do anything. She looks really cool though, and he had a very well painted one. He had a big old group of 20 Guardian Defenders with an Eldar missile launcher and 2 squads of 5 Rangers. Fast attack, he had 8 Shining Spears. Then heavy support, he had 10 Dark Reapers with a Tempest launcher. And then 2 Night Spinners. Then he had an Air Wing detachment of 3 Crimson Hunter Exarchs with Star Cannons. And that was his list. I did not know what Night Spinners did coming into this. I'd only faced them once in an Apocalypse game, so quickly had to message my buddies to figure out what the hell they did. They suck, by the way, and they can fire out of line of sight, so you can just tuck them in a building or behind a building. They're a little bit big to go in a building, but tuck them behind a building, and they can shoot across the board with a decent amount of firepower. It's no AP on most of them. Like 6s are like AP2 D3 damage or some stupid something like that. Not fun to go against, but they were no AP, so I was getting my 2-up armor saves on most of my stuff most of the time. But they just chip away at you. They make you take saves, and anything that can make a Custodes army take a bunch of saves, not cool. Hammer and Anvil again on this deployment, and I went ahead and tried something a little bit different. I took Behind Enemy Lines, Big Game Hunter, and Mark for Death, thinking I'm going to deep strike Trajan Valoris and a squad of guard to get my Behind Enemy Lines. Like, if I do this turn 2, he'll have a hard time killing him. I can go in, I can seek and destroy his Dark Reapers, and maybe tag a Night Spinner with Trajan, and that Watcher's Axe will rip up a Night Spinner, right? Because I know he's not going to leave. He's going to leave those Dark Reapers on an objective on the back of the table, and I'm never going to be able to shoot him out. So, and they're going to be a big problem for me. So they've got to die. So, Mark for Death, I go ahead and take obviously his Dark Reapers, his Shining Spears, because they're going to come at me and be super aggressive, and I take the Farseer and the Autarch. Because the Farseer is going to charge at me too, because he's on a bike, or he's going to be behind those Shining Spears, because he wants it to be able to do Doom and Guide and stuff to make those happen. Big Game Hunter was my weak link. I thought I can take out the 2 Night Spinners and a Flyer at least, and get like 3 points off of that. I got 1 Night Spinner. I didn't even manage to kill both the Night Spinners, which sucks. He took Kingslayer again, Recon, and Behind Enemy Lines. Duh. He maxes Recon and Behind Enemy Lines because his Flyers just go into my deployment zone and start doing circles. I can't shoot them, or not very effectively anyway. And so they just sit back there with their lances and their star cannons chipping away at my guys. Again, they don't do a lot of damage, but they do enough that over the course of a whole game, over 6 turns, I start dying. So I do exactly what I want to do. I put Trajan and my guard up in deep strike, and I bring them down. I did forget to bring them down turn 2. This is a problem I continue to have. It bit me twice at Midwest Conquest. I didn't bring them in at all at Midwest Conquest. But this time, I forgot to bring them in turn 2. So that's a turn of behind enemy lines that I'm not getting right up front. And so if this game doesn't go turn 6, I'm losing points. It's something I've got to get better at if I plan on going anymore and getting better at this game. So turn 1, I almost go on tilt on this turn 1. His Shining Spears charge up and come after my knight. And I'm like, fine, great, come at me. He can't make the charge turn 1 because we're hammer and anvil. He's got too far to go. So they come up at me, and I've got all my guns pointed at it. The Caladius tank, the 2 Helverins, and the Crusader got all their guns pointed at these these Shining Spears. And I'm like, great, let's do this. I start unloading, I declare the fire of all the guns from my Crusader on it. He does his whatever it's called to make them another -1 to hit. So they're Altioch, -1 to hit, and then he gives this thing on them. Bam, -2 to hit. So now my Knight and my Helverins are hitting on 5s. The Caladius tanks hitting on 4s. And this just makes my life difficult. My mistake is I continue to fire at them anyway. After the Knight dumped into him, and I did like maybe 1 wound to 1 bike, I should know better. I should have refocused the Helverins on a Night Spinner, which they could have seen, and just taken the Caladius after the Dark Reapers, which he could see. This was a mistake. I dumped far too much firepower into these Shining Spears. All said and done, turn 1, I killed 1 model. Yeah. So I don't get a kill turn 1. I don't get any points towards my mark for death turn 1. And I am just frustrated. So turn 2, he comes up, just cripples my knight with Shining Spears, and then falls back. I dump all my fire from the knight next turn into the Shining Spears, wipe him that turn, because he doesn't have the minus to hit on him. And then everybody else focuses on Dark Reapers. It takes me forever to chew through his Dark Reapers. Trajan and the Guard Squad then come in, finish off the Dark Reapers, finish off a Night Spinner, and by that time, I'm down to so little stuff that I just can't continue to score points. So I end up getting 3 points on behind enemy lines, 1 big game hunter, and then 3 marked for death. I failed to kill his Autarch. While he maxes out Kingslayer, maxes out Recon, maxes out behind enemy lines, and just basically outscores me by a point every single round. So that goes down as a loss, 18-27. That's a disappointing loss, and one I know I could have done better on. Not sure I could win that game, but I can definitely score 20 plus points in that game, which makes a difference. So, a disappointing game, bad matchup, but misplayed on my part. So, let's go to turn 3, or round 3. Round 3. Round 3, I go against Alex Farrell. Alex has a wonderfully painted Tau army. Gray and white like tiger stripes on his riptides, and then one I really loved, and I wish the rest of his army was done up in. It was a blue and gray tiger stripe, and it looked super cool. I'm gonna say up front, Tao's a bad matchup for me. I don't like fighting Tao. I don't like. I just don't like it at all. Um, so let's go into Alex's list. So he's got a Sisea Sept battalion with commander and enforcer battle suit with 4 cyclic ion blasters and a shield drone, an ethereal with a shield drone, 3 firesight marksmen. Then he's got an outrider detachment, Tau Sept with commander with cyclic ion blasters, 3 squads of 6 shield drones, and then he's got a battalion, Tau Sept, with a cadre fireblade, commander Shadow Sun, 3 strike teams, and then 3 riptide battle suits, and then hazard suit support team with 3 hazard suits. Those are the double burst cannon guys. Okay, so for this one, I pretty much know how this plays. You castle up all the drones with the riptides, and then you deep strike in some of your hazard suits and your commanders with the cyclic ion blasters. They're going to be targeting my tank or my knight, whichever one's still alive. Again, hammer and anvil. Shit. I needed Dawn of War. I needed something where I could get in close, assault, be aggressive, and try to break through his lines. Because if I have to shoot it out with Tau, I lose. Hammer and anvil makes me shoot it out with Tau. That's just bad. So I'm thinking, again, let's deep strike Trajan and a guard squad and go for behind enemy lines. Maybe I can hide them in a building someplace and force him to dig me out because he doesn't have that many smart missile systems. The Riptides are the only thing with smart missile systems. So he's not going to be able to shoot me that well if I can get into cover. And maybe Trajan can charge some lines and do some work. Disrupt, make him split fire, do something. I take mark for death on the Tau Commander and the 3 Riptides. Mistake. Again, marking Riptides was a dumb idea. He's got far too many drones to make that efficient choice. And then I took Kingslayer on the, I believe, one of his Tau commanders. Yeah, he was on one of the Cyclic Ion Blaster commanders. He's going to play super aggressive with those. Why not, right? I'll get the Kingslayer points. I can't score max points on it, but I can get 3 points. And I was like, that's good enough, right? So I do what I have to do, and I move up, shoot everything I can at one Riptide. And I do relatively well and take away all his drones. So I get a kill because I killed a whole drone unit, which is nice. And then he fires back, and I think he kills like a Helverin. Or no, he kills my... I don't remember what he kills, but he gets a kill. No, he doesn't get a kill. He gets a hold, but he like cripples some stuff. Next turn, I move up a little more. I shoot a little bit more. Still don't kill the Riptide. Holy crap. But I kill another unit of drones. Yay. Can you tell my enthusiasm about this game? He proceeds then to just freaking annihilate. Drops in his reserves, does some work. Then I come in and I kill his Tau commander that I had marked and hold an objective, and that's about all I do there. He proceeds to clean up some more of my army and leave me with next to nothing. Next turn, I hold an objective. He proceeds to then table me. Turn 4. And then he maxes up all his stuff. So he took Titan Slayer, Mark for Death, and Old School. Not sure why he took Old School, but he didn't max it out, and he could have taken Behind Enemy Lines or something like that and done better. Either or, bad loss for me. I don't score any Behind Enemy Lines points. I don't score Mark for Death. I don't score Kingslayer. Well, I score 1 Mark for Death. I score 3 Kingslayer. I score 11 to 29 in this game. 11 points. Bad game. Good opponent. Had fun playing Alex. And like I said, he had a beautiful painted Tau army. Tau is not generally an enjoyable game for me. I don't like playing them. It just tends to not be super enjoyable for me. And it's a bad match for my list anyway. Okay. So that's the end of day 1. I'm 0-3 and end the day on a bad loss. So I'm not feeling super good about how this tournament's going. I came into it wanting to pull out a 3-3. And it's looking like I'm not going to get that. I'm moving further and further down the rankings, and I'm wondering if I can even win a game in this tournament. I'm seriously staring at 0-6, and that's not fun. It's not what I wanted out of this at all. My list is not necessarily failing me, but it's not doing what I thought it was supposed to do, and I am making huge mistakes. Poorly picked secondaries, movement errors, attacking order errors, just little things that add up, and some huge things that just really destroy me. So not scoring those secondaries is really, really hurting. Either way, I meet up with the guys from some of the guys from Forge World Columbia and some other guys, Andy from Veteran Gamer Reenlisted, and we go to the Norton's Brewing Company. They're in Wichita, and I proceed to drink away my sorrows. They had some really good beers. If you've been following my Facebook page at Hobby Progress on Facebook, I posted the beer list. There was some good stuff in there, for sure. Some stuff I wish I could get here, but I've searched the stores and I can't seem to find any of it. But had a good time, and it really perked up my outlook for day 2. So, day 2, I come back and I draw Joshua Freeman. Let me pull up Josh's list here real quick. So, Josh is playing Genestealer Colts. I'm not looking forward to playing Genestealer Colts again, even though it should be a decent matchup for me, because it's a lot of toughness 3 bodies. I just did so poorly against them last time. But I learned, and I chose some different secondaries on this go-round. Again, Hammer and Anvil. Oh my god. Is that the only deployment I'm going to play this entire tournament? Ridiculous. So let's go into Josh's list, and he's got a Twisted Helix battalion with a Patriarch, a Primus, 3 squads of 10 Brood Brothers, 10 Aberrants, and a Biophagus. Then he's got a Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor battalion with an Acolyte Icon Ward and a Patriarch, and looks like 14 Acolytes with 4 Rock Saws, and then another 14 Acolytes. Those don't look right. 15 Acolytes. So 15 Acolytes with 4 Rock Saws, 15 Acolytes with 4 Rock Saws, 17 acolytes with hand flamers, a Clamavus, a Kellermorph, a Nexus, and then he's got another Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor battalion with a Patriarch, a Primus, and 3 squads of Brood Brothers. So triple battalion. He's got plenty of command points to do all his tricky Genestealer cult crap, and he's just got a crap ton of bodies. Those Roxaw units scare the hell out of me because they can take down a knight in a single run of combat. He's got 3 Patriarchs. This bothers me a whole lot because those can also really strip the wounds off of a knight. And then just waves upon waves of bodies to deep strike in, take objectives, and really screw me over. So this bothers me. But with those waves and waves of bodies, I chose secondaries of Reaper, Kingslayer, and Mark for Death. I chose Kingslayer on his Patriarch, and then I marked for Death both Aberrant squads and both Roxaw squads. That was my mistake. Secondaries against them was huge problem. Never take Kingslayer or Mark for Death against Genestealer cults. You will not score them if your opponent is smart. They can deep strike far too much stuff, and they play this stupid trick where they put all their blips out in their deployment, then they spend a couple command points, and they pick up all those blips. Well, like 3 of them, either way. And so they take anything that you mark for death and pick them up. And because they started the game on the table, they don't have to come in. Like, ever. Because against the Genestealer cult player, remember how I said they play slow? You will not finish that game. So, any of your mark for death targets just simply don't come in. And so you can't score points on them. So that's what happened with Mark for Death and Kingslayer. I scored 2 of my Mark for Death points because I managed to knock out an Aberrant squad and a Roxaw squad because he had to bring them in to deal the damage enough to hurt me. One of the Aberrant squads he brought in on my Helverins, and the Roxaw squad he brought in against my Knight. So yeah, that was a problem. He took Recon, Kingslayer, and Linebreaker. I managed to beat off Recon 2 of the turns, and that saved me. Killing strategically to make sure Recon wasn't taken. And Linebreaker was eliminated along with Recon for 2 full turns. So that was great. I denied him a bunch of points there. The Caladius tank did real good. He was able to swing around and take a lot of firepower, but he was able to castle up on his side of the table and do the thing where he can start stuff on the table, take it off, and re-ambush it someplace else. So I was able to get a kill first turn, which I didn't think I was going to be able to with the way he was deployed. But I got lucky. Something was hanging out. I managed to shoot the hell out of the cultist squad. He was not able to get a kill first turn. So, great. Go in the next one. He's still all castled up behind his little deal. I managed to get the Caladius over into a good position because that thing moves 14 inches. So I'm able to swing it around, get it behind a piece of terrain, and shoot up another cultist squad. Awesome. All that firepower just wipes out Toughness 3 cultist squads like nobody's business. Yeah, it gets me another kill. Now I'm killing and killing. Now I'm killing, holding, and holding more. And we tie on kill. Because this time he comes out and he deep strikes and he gets a kill. We basically trade off like that all game. He's able to chase me down and do a lot of stuff, so we do pretty decent there. I'm able to get kill and kill more most of the time. But he's able to get hold and hold more most of the time. I max out Reaper. He never brings his Patriarch on. So I never get that. And like I said, I only get my 2 mark for death points. He's only going to get 2 recons and 2 line breakers. So that saves me. That saves me big time. Because, like I said, we go neck and neck. And it came down to turn 4, where clock is running low. We got like 15 minutes left. We know we're not going to get another turn in. So when his turn comes up, because he got to go second, I didn't get to go first. Um, it's looking like he has to score a whole bunch of points just to tie. And so we do some rolls and we do some stuff, and he doesn't even bring it up, and I end up winning this game 19-16. Super low score, only because I chose poor secondaries. I should have won this game even more. I know how to play Genestealer Colts a little bit better now. I need to choose secondaries a little bit differently. I can get lots of good kills. Custodes should be a good matchup for Genestealer Colts. I have a hard time holding some objectives, but I have a great time killing Genestealer Colts. So I end up winning my first game, game 1 of day 2. Gives me a much more positive outlook on things, and at least I don't go 0-6, because going 0-6 would be just a bad time. All right, so let's go into game 5. After I pour myself another beer. That was the other nice thing about this tournament is they had a bar in the event hall. And so about noon, well, I guess it was about 10 o'clock, you could start walking over to the bar and grab some drinks during your games. And it makes for a really great environment when in between games you can go over and have a drink and talk with people and reminisce about your games a little bit. So game 5. So game 2 of day 2. I get Wyatt Harris. Wyatt was a fun kid to play against. One of the younger players I saw there playing Death Guard. And when I saw this list, no offense to Wyatt, I was like, this is a game I can win. And I felt good going into this game. I was like, I've seen this list before. I know how to play against it, and I think I can do really well here. So let's go over Wyatt's list. Wyatt brought a Death Guard battalion detachment with a Chaos Lord and a Malignant Plague Caster, 3 squads of 5 Plague Marines. They brought the Melt-A-Gun, Plague Spewer, and Flail of Corruption in each of them, and their sergeant had a Power Fist. Then he brought 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers, Biologus Putrefier, a Noxious Blightbringer, and a Plague Surgeon with a Tallyman, Fetid Bloat Drone, Plague Burst Crawler, a Chaos Rhino, and then he had a Super Heavy Auxiliary Detachment with Mortarion. And then he had a Auxiliary Support Detachment with a Sorcerer with the Purge. I'm not sure what he's doing with that Auxiliary Detachment, to be honest. But the only thing that bothers me about this list is can I get kill each turn? Because while Plague Marines don't do a lot of damage, they take a lot of damage. Those disgusting resilient feel no pain rolls are just annoying to chew through. And while I bring a decent amount of firepower, I can't always chew through that many wounds. But priority target is Mortarion. He has to die turn 1 because he can do serious work against my Custodes. He deals out mortal wounds, and his scythe is just stupid, so he must die. I have enough firepower to do it, and if I'm lucky, I get turn 1. And I do. I get to go first. We play the next best thing to Hammer and Anvil, And it's the stupid one where you start in corners, 9-inch from the center. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to deploy right on that line. He's going to put everything he has right on it. And so I'm like, okay, you want to deploy there? I'm going to deploy all the way back in my corner, as far away from you as I can possibly get. I'm going to make you come to me, and I'm going to make you have to pass warp time to get Mortarion into distance to charge. He does not seize, so I get first turn, and I light Mortarion up. I get him all the way down to 3 wounds. 3. And I have no shooting left. I have no command point, anything to do anything left. I'm going to take a charge turn 1 from Mortarion. Either way, he moves everything up. He warp times Mortarion. I can't deny it. I don't have anything in range because, you guessed it, I deployed everything in the clear back of my deployment zone. So he does get warp time off. He moves Mortarion up. He's gonna have a pretty long charge. He's gonna have like a 7-inch charge to make it to my knight. That's fine. I've kind of separated my knight away from everything else so that if he charges him and blows up, it doesn't really hurt unless I roll like friggin' boxcars. He's not gonna blow up and hurt anything else I've got, and I'm gonna get a whole nother shooting phase to take out Mortarion. Or if I do blow up, hopefully I just kill Mortarion. Overwatch. I take 2 more wounds off of Mortarion. He makes the charge with 1 wound. You've got to be kidding me. He then proceeds to take like 14 wounds off my knight with Mortarion. He could easily have killed him, but didn't. Awesome. So my knight's still alive. So my knight proceeds to back up, kill Mortarion with, minimal shooting. I don't even have to dedicate my whole round of fire to him. I dedicate like my battle cannon to him and the missile pod just for good measure. But round 2, I deep strike Trajan and a squad of guard into his backfield because he left his primary objective. This one's the one where if I hold your primary objective and my primary objective, I score the bonus point. Well, he has just left a squad of 10 plague bearers on his primary objective. I take it from him. I take it from him handily. And proceed to just slowly kill 1 or 2 things at a time, holding more, killing more, and just slowly mopping the floor with him. I make sure to hold off, don't table him, so I can milk this for points. I take Kingslayer on Mortarion, I take Engineers, and I take Headhunter. He's got a bunch of characters. A bunch of characters that he is overly aggressive with. I think that's his downfall, and I think he's a relatively new player. No one that's playing Death Guard competitively brings Plague Marines. So I think I really shoved myself down so far into the bottom tables that I'm picking up wins at this point. Either way, it was a fun game. I had a great time. And I ended up scoring 36-21 against Wyatt. So that's my big win. And I'm thinking to myself at this point, I may have just made a mistake. I don't need to score 36 points. I mean, why am I milking a game for all the points it's worth when I know it's just going to catapult me back up into the middle tables where I'm going to get a harder opponent and I'm probably going to lose? Either way, I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to win. And I get the win. I get a good win. So let's go on into round 6 because round 5 against Wyatt went down that way. Round 6. Where's my score sheet? Round 6 scores. Round 6, I got against Ron Hayward. Ron is running Blood Angels. And not just like Blood Angels with some guard. Pure Blood Angels, which is awesome. Ron actually goes on to win Best Blood Angels. I think because he's the only one there. But Ron's actually a really good player, and he gave me a serious run. I felt good about playing this list because I was like, dude's playing Space Marines. And he's not playing some Gilliman gun line either. He's playing Blood Angels. It's like, okay. So let's go over Ron's list. He is playing a battalion with a captain in Phobos armor and a Primaris lieutenant, 3 squads of intercessors, 3 predators, and then he's got a battalion with Mephiston, a slam captain, a squad of attack marines, actually 2 squads of attack marines and a squad of scouts, 2 razorbacks, and then he's got a spearhead detachment with a suppressor squad and 2 land speeders. So he's got razorbacks with las cannons and predators with las cannons and autocannons. This is actually going to pose more of a problem than I thought when I originally read his list. I thought, okay, let's pick Big Game Hunter, right? He's got all those predators. I should be able to pop those, no problem. That shouldn't be too big a deal. Headhunter. Headhunter should be good. He's got lots of characters. Lots of characters that need to be relatively aggressive, right? And then I'll take Engineers. He doesn't have but 1 deep striker, so Engineers ought to be good. He takes Recon, Ground Control, and Old School. I have no idea. I feel really good when he tells me what he's picking. Because I'm like, Old School? Why don't you take Titan Slayer, or Headhunter, or Kingslayer, like everyone else has done against me. That's an easy max points. Old School, hell, I might actually be able to keep you from getting like 2 to 3 points of Old School. So I'm starting to feel really good about this. Like, I can kill predators, and I can keep you from scoring Old School. Probably can't keep you from scoring Ground Control. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. And Recon, same deal. Because I just don't have enough people to block out. Either way. We go. I get turn 1. I get to go first. And I'm thinking, that is perfect. I dump absolutely all of my firepower into one of his razorbacks. And I don't kill it. Yeah. So that's the way my game's going to go. So I get hold and hold more. Great. He shoots and ends up killing one of my guard. No, he ends up killing. What does he end up killing? Oh, that's right. No, turn 1, he ends up killing my knight, which I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna go good for me. My primary firepower, but I'm like, okay, the Helverins should still do good. I didn't roll so hot on that first turn. Helverins can still do this. So I go in, and the Helverins do it. I end up getting in. I end up mulching like a scout squad, and then I end up killing a razorback. I'm like, sweet, let's do this. Like I get kill more, I get hold more, I get my engineers. I get a Big Game Hunter. Like, yeah, this is gonna be good. I'm scoring points here. And I've got, this is the one where you can get the bonus by having 3 characters on 3 objectives. I have 4 characters. I scored the bonus round 2. This is amazing. Go into round 3. He gets kill and hold. I get kill, I get kill more. I get hold. I get hold more. I get the bonus. But I don't get another big game hunter. I'm killing Marines. And I leave a hole for his Smash Captain to get in, which proceeds to do work against my Helverins. I thought I had this screened out. He was not supposed to be able to make it there. I end up retaliating, killing him. It's not that big a deal. But now with my diminished capacity, I can no longer get kill more. I'm starting to lose hold more because he's starting to kill my guard. And then he gets hold, kill, and kill more. And then on my last one, I get hold. He gets hold more, kill more. He maxes recon, he maxes ground control. And the only thing he doesn't get is last strike on old school. No, he doesn't get line breaker in old school. I max engineers, and I managed to get 2 headhunter points. But I got 1 big game hunter. 1. I lose this game 22-26. I am very upset with the way I handled this game. Big Game Hunter should have been easier. I should have scored at least 3 points on Big Game Hunter. I know you shouldn't blame a game on dice, but that first round of shooting was scary bad. A Knight, 2 Helverins, and a Caladius tank ought to be able to take out a Razorback without even trying. And to shave only like 8 wounds off of it is pathetic. So, I lose my last game. A game I should have won. That would have given me my 3-3. It also, according to Duncan, would have given me Comeback Kid. Because of going 0-3 day 1 and then 3-0 day 2. I would have liked to have won something like that. Gone home with an award. Oh yeah, game 1 of day 2, I did walk away with a door prize of some Age of Sigmar ghosts. Like Revenant something or others, Revenant Blade Geists or something like that. I'm told they're good. They will probably end up going to one of my friends that actually plays them. Or maybe I'll throw them into prize support pool for the next RTT I run. Something like that. I have no interest in playing Ghosts in Age of Sigmar. But back to this game, I was really disappointed because I felt I played a good game. I just felt I didn't roll well, and I felt like the game was stolen from me. So I hope I didn't get too salty outright to Ron. I hope he realized that I was more upset with myself and the way it all came out than I was with him. But no, I had fun. It ended up being a good event. I learned a lot. I think I'm going to change my list up a little bit. I'm thinking that the Custodes did a lot of work for me, and the Knight really didn't. The Knight Crusader, I felt like did a lot of bluster and cost me a lot of points. Like I said, it gives up max Titan Slayer or Headhunter every single game I play. So I'm wondering if giving up those 4 points is worth bringing it. It does, on paper, bring a lot of firepower, and should do better. But I just found that it didn't. It whiffed its shots far too many times during the tournament, and I just felt like I can pick something that's better. The Helverins, I think, pulled their weight. People trash talk Helverins, and I don't know why. I think they do very good. So I'm on the fence right now on, I think I either need to go all Adeptus Custodes or all Imperial Knights. I think this mixing of the two is mixing 2 extremely expensive factions that just leave me no table presence. So I'm thinking I'm going to drop the Knights altogether, as beautifully painted as they are, and just go with Custodes. If I can beg, borrow, and steal another Caladius Grav tank, I'll probably end up doing that. Because it was very popular to run 3 Caladius Grav tanks. I won't be doing that. I'll probably be running 2. I'll probably throw in some jet bikes for good measure. I think I liked the amount of firepower I had over my Midwest Conquest list. I felt like I had more opportunities to win than I did at Midwest Conquest. I don't think the list is going to take me to a 4-2. Not that I'm a 4-2 player. I really am a 3-3 player. I understand that, but I really want to feel like I can make that 4-2. And in this tournament, I never felt like I could make 4-2. I felt like 3-3 was a dream coming into day 2. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do some different things, and make some changes to my list. And we'll see what I can do. I got Show Me Showdown coming up in a month, and I really think that if I can get a couple practice games in and maybe tweak my list a little bit, I can do pretty good at Show Me Showdown. Show Me Showdown should be a major. I think it's only a 5-round major, not a 6. But yeah. So to recap, I took 60th place. So definitely bottom of the row, but with one more win and some good points, I could have done much better. I definitely felt like I could have done better in several games. I see where I went wrong, and hope to fix that. So again, that was Flying Monkey Con 2019. I'm very much looking forward to the Show Me Showdown, which is July 20th in North Kansas City. So I believe they're sold out, or I'd pimp their tickets a little bit more. But if you're in the area and you want to go look them up, definitely come check me out at Show Me Showdown. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe here on YouTube, and go find me on Facebook under Hobby Progress. If you've got anything, just leave comments either here or there, and I hope to make these a more regular occurrence after my tournaments. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll give you another recap after Show Me Showdown.